I'm down here at the Washington Monument. Yeah, that's behind me. And in front of me is the U.S. Capitol. And people always ask me, hey, Lesko, what's the best government program you think there is in America? Well, you know what I think is at the career one-stop centers. These are terrific. Listen, you could be living in the street or a millionaire and still take advantage of the programs there. I mean, you could be, that's right, making up to $1 million and get like $8,000 to become a yoga instructor or become a massage therapist. Or how about $2,000 to learn computers that you need for your job? Or how about like paying your last semester of college? They even have money for things like that. Or how about taking 6 months to learn how to get a new career in the growing healthcare field? That's all available in one office and you don't have to search around for it. Or how about if you're a business, you could use this office too. That's right. You could take like 100 employees and train them all in how to be better customer service people. That's right, they'll pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. Or how about that? If you're laying people off, the same office will sort of outplace them, help them get jobs, show them the requirements now, the eligible programs that they could get money from and things like that. And all that is free. Or actually, here's a neat thing too, is that if you want to start a business, you can get free money to live on while you start your own business. And this is all from one office. Or if you're looking for a job, they'll help you write resumes and they'll give you free computers to look for jobs on the internet. And all this is free. Now, how do you find these places? Well, there's two places to go. You can go careeronestop.org, that's careeronestop.org, or call 211. Actually, at Career One Stop, you put in your zip code and you'll see all the offices locally that you could just walk into. Call up and make an appointment. Or 211, call them. They're an office locally all over the country, where you can say, hey, where do I go when I need money for a job? Because you could be a lawyer or an out-of-work congressman and still get $8,000 to train for a new job. Well, this is a little unbelievable, but it's true. You can make up to $90,000 a year with nothing but your car and a driver's license. And it's not long-haul travel. You have to travel from New Jersey to California or anything like that. No, it's right in your city. It's actually just driving people around. And all you need really is a smartphone. I left mine in the other room. Yeah, and that's all you need. Because now what they're taking over for is the cab companies. I mean, the cab companies have this big bureaucracy or whatever. And there's, I think there's 3 of them now. Uber, Lyft, and another one called Sidecar that are really just run through the internet on apps, and using these services are really cheaper for a consumer a lot of times, but for the individual making the driving, it's a lot better. Not only the average cabby, like if you're driving a cab somewhere, make about $30,000 a year. So here they're making $90,000. Gosh, who wants to drive a cab when you could do that? Plus the upfront cost. If you're driving a cab like in New York City, it costs $1 million to get a permit, one of those medallions to drive a cab in New York City. That's what it costs. Here it's nothing. There's no big hurdle to get over, or a bunch of money you have to come up front with to be a cab driver. And what are your hours? On this, it's all the time. Most people in cabs, man, it seems like they work 24 hours a day or whatever. But here, you choose the hours, you choose you want, you work part-time, full-time, just anytime you feel like, you just say, hey, I'm available, and you wait. And the safety, man, it seems a lot safer than driving a cab or something like that, because everybody who uses you is registered. So you got their name and address, from the, the parent company. So you can always find these people if something bad happens. That's what's cool about it. And there's no regulations, no all this thing. That's like cab business is in trouble. It's sort of like, this is the new economy happening. The bookstores are out of business. Who knows about, the network TV? They're probably going. That's why things are changing. And that's why to find out about these changes and be part of it, because that's where it's happening. Actually, they were saying the biggest company now is Uber that does this, but there's 3 of them, as I mentioned. And they've been getting 20,000 people a month signing up to be drivers. They're all over the world now. In the United States, they're in like 60 cities. Yeah. So you're looking for extra spending money, man. Yeah. Don't become a cab driver. I did that once. Right. I got out of the Navy for a while. But no, man, become a web, or iPhone or whatever you call it, a smartphone driver, and companies like, the main ones I say are Uber, Lyft, and Sidecar. Check them out. Okay, now this next interview, man, this stuff is crazy. Yeah. It's amazing what's coming out in the world nowadays. Now just think, if you hate getting these plastic fruits and vegetables at the local Safeway or whatever, that doesn't taste great, and you would like to make, plant fruits and vegetables, at home, but you don't want to get all dirty in the garden and stuff like that, or you live in an apartment and you have no grass to do that. Well, here's a fellow invented something, hydroponics. You grow it right inside your house in water, doesn't get your fingernails dirty, there's no dirt involved in anything, and listen to this, you control it with an app. So you could be anywhere in the world and checking your plants and controlling it with an app on your phone. And then here's the other thing. This thing that it grows in, it's like sculpture. Okay, it's beautiful. It's not something you're going to hide in your basement or keep up in the attic or whatever it is. No, it's beautiful. It's a conversation piece, and they'll grow beautiful vegetables and fruit right in your house. And listen to this, it's less than $200. Wow, I mean, it's a whole new way. I mean, of learning about our agriculture and food and where it comes from and how to grow it great and not have this funny food that we get in a truck for 7 days to drive it to your local Safeway or whatever. Now that's crazy. We're wasting all that energy when we could grow it right in our own home now. That's what I mean about the whole new economy. There's new things happening in this world, man. It's just going to change the way we live and make things better so we don't have to waste all that energy. And you're growing it so you don't have to waste all that money either. Little seeds, and you don't even have to know how to be a farmer because an app does it all. I mean, or what a neat thing to teach kids. Teach kids about where fruits and vegetables come from. They think it comes in little Ziploc bags or something from the market. No, this is something you can grow. You can grow right at home now. And it's just exciting things that are happening. And there's a fellow who had an idea while he was doing his other job and inventing it, And listen to this. He got over $100,000 on the internet already. And as we're filming this, he's not even finished. Wow. I mean, this is exciting stuff. There's so many things like this happening in life that, you should get it, grab this thing by the tail and start enjoying life more by being on a wave of something, not when the wave has already hit the beach and the party's over. You want to be there in the beginning of stuff, so exciting and it's fun and all things are happening around you and there's bubbles in the air. You can create those bubbles in the air for yourself. So watch how he did it. It's wonderful. Well, Javier Molares?
Yes, Morelias.
Morelias, that's it. There's an I in there.
Yes.
Javier Morelias, and the engineer techie from Spain who's going to change indoor gardening and make it a fresh vegetable festival in every house in the world. Man, it's just the neatest thing. I mean, you got like an indoor garden for fruits and vegetables that you can grow indoor with an app. Yeah, yes. With an app. No more dirty fingers, nothing.
Super clean and super easy for everyone.
But it's not only for the urban farmer or whatever. It's actually for kids to learn. It's for yourself to see what a fresh tomato tastes like.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, you're going to solve the transportation problem. We don't have to truck tomatoes from California or wherever the hell they are, or Spain even, right?
Yes. Hopefully, we are doing our best to solve that problem, at least to help.
And it's a gorgeous. I mean, it's like artwork. I mean, it's a piece of art that's in your house too. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
yeah,
We have spent a lot of resources in the design
yeah.
because so it's gonna be a system that is gonna be in your living room or at your kitchen. So we want to do something that is nice, is appealing, and something that you want to show to your friends.
Yeah.
Not something that you are going to put in your basement or
Right.
whatever. No, you want to have this something nice.
No, I mean with plants inside of it, it really looks like sculpture, like some famous artist made
Yeah.
this as a piece of sculpture. But actually, these are fresh fruits and vegetables that's growing in your home, and you do it all on an app. You pre-program like the unit this is in that gives it the right temperature, the right water, everything, and you don't need dirt because it's hydroponic, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So where did this idea come? I mean, you're a guy working on super trains and gave up
Yes.
that career to work on super tomatoes in my house.
So yeah, this idea came. So I was, I'm from Spain, from the south of Spain, and Maria, that is one of the first producer in the world of vegetables. So then I realized that okay, so we're exporting like so much vegetable that is great because it's super high quality and but they have to travel really long, too long. So I wanted to have like local production. So because it makes no sense to have like if they have to travel that long, why don't we try to do it locally? And then I found the problem. I found the community of urban farmers that is huge.
Yes.
And I found the problem of the difficulties of doing. It's like you don't know how to do it. You don't have place. So let's make something that is compact and that's something that knows how to do it. So instead of you, the new is going to deal with all the complexity and the hard part of growing. And then you are going to have, yes, the rewarding part, that is checking your vegetables every day. And if you do it well, and it's going to be super easy, you are going to have your reward. That is the vegetables, your fresh vegetables, fresh tomatoes, peppers, strawberries. Yes.
But I mean, also, if you have kids in the house, I mean, kids could do this so easily. I mean, it sounds like in reading the description, all I have to do is look at this, my garden once or twice or something to see and the app tells me what to look for, right?
Exactly.
And
exactly.
then you say, is it this high or there are buds on it? And then you say yes, and then it's going to put more water or more whatever the heck it needs to get to the next stage, right? And I don't have to know that. I don't have to put a thermometer in there myself.
No, not anymore. I mean, till now there is some like really complex and, if you let me say, ugly hydroponic systems that are so hard to manage because you have like timers, you have a timer for the watering, you have another like timer NASA. For the lights, you have a thermometer here, and you have to check the temperature. But you can check the temperature, but you don't know if that is the temperature your plants want. So it's really hard to do it, yeah.
And you've taken all that out of the process because you have algorithms on your app that then sets the machine to do all this thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So because you're an engineer and not a farmer, you were able to make it easier for the rest of us.
Yeah, actually, what we have done could sound easy. So we work with farmers.
Right.
We take the knowledge from them and we put that knowledge in a microcontroller system, and that's it.
Well, now farmers are going to take this and they won't have to farm anymore. They'll be watching ball games and just look on their app, and the whole field will be.
Exactly, that's the idea.
I mean, that'll be just terrific. But more importantly, educating the country about real food and testing real food again. That's not traveling 500 miles to get to you, and having that. And then, to me, this sort of like a starter set on if I really want to grow more of my own food. This is expandable in other forms or in this form or whatever. I mean, it seems
absolutely.
Like, for $200, I'm really getting into the urban farmer business, and it looks like artwork, And I want to know, I could find out if I want to proceed and really learn about the whole thing, because I think it's something that's coming. I mean, you've studied this certainly a lot more than me. But having fresh food, or look at all the farmers markets, you know, then I don't have to go to the farmers market if I, I got my own farmers market in my living room.
That's the idea. Yeah, we want to bring nature
Yeah.
to you, you know. So it's like we have been farming like 10,000 years. So
We've been
now
doing it
it's
the
like
same
just
way.
exactly. So our change, our life changed this last
Yeah.
100 years with the when the people moved to cities, and so we lost that on the
Yeah.
way. So it's like, okay, now we have technology, so we can use that technology to bring you back the change of have your own food at home.
And it feels more like a community that way if we're getting it, the same way a farmer's market does. And so you can just go to the farmer's market for the weird stuff that you can't get into your own thing.
Exactly. Yes.
And get the basics out of your own
Hmm.
garden. Or actually, it's not called a garden. What do you call this? Sculpture or a garden sculpture? Or, no, because that sounds like a big piece of rock inside your garden or something. Now
Yeah.
this is a real hydroponic garden that just looks terrific. I mean, it looks like a piece of, you know, artwork that's going to be in your living room or whatever it is. And for the price, and actually getting on Kickstarter now is great because it's probably going to be more expensive when this thing is over, when your Kickstarter campaign is over, right?
Yeah. We are
Yeah.
selling now like half of the retail price.
Wow! So this is a
Yeah.
50% off now.
Yeah.
So your tomatoes are going to be cheaper not only because you're
Even
growing them,
even
but they're
cheaper.
going to be
Yes.
really cheap now because the system is half price of what it will be retail. So all the more reason, not only because you'll be the first one in the neighborhood, but gosh, I mean, to have a deal like that and to see what that is, and actually, what's interesting to me, to look at the technology. I mean, I still don't understand how we grow stuff just out of water, you know, in hydroponics
Huh.
that works, you know, but it does. I mean, obviously, and to have that here to watch, and that's why your neighbors, your friends, it could be a work of art. You know, when you have people over for dinner, where do you get the tomatoes? See that piece of art over there? That's where your tomatoes are coming from, yeah.
Exactly.
And children to see this, you know, and to learn more about this. I mean, they think that tomatoes come in little plastic bags, you know, that are you can't even get open, you know. So it's a wonderful thing you're doing, and you call it the NIWA, N-I-W-A, but your website is really getniwa.com. And so
Yeah.
it's better to go there because that will take you to Kickstarter, and it's too long to remember how to find it on Kickstarter, and sometimes it's hard. So if you go to niwa.com,
Yeah.
find you guys.
It's not Niwa. It's
No,
get
it's
as
get
exact.
get Niwa, right?
Get Niwa Niw
Yeah, okay.
U A dot com.
GetGetNiwa.com. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then you can go to our Kickstarter campaign right
Kickstarter,
from
right.
there.
And then after Kickstarter, because you only have like 30 days yet, but boy, you got $60,000 in a week. You know,
Yeah.
so people are going for this, and it's obviously why. I mean, it's just the uniqueness of learning about, you know, agriculture again, and learning about the food supply, because that's going to be very important as our world gets bigger and bigger, and transportation becomes more expensive. You study this, I don't, but
Yeah.
that's what
That's true.
is going to happen, and you're solving that problem in many ways. And so thank you so much, Javier, and it's wonderful to have you here in this country thinking all this good fun stuff, tasty and fun and reasonable.
Yeah.
So GetNiwa, GetNiwa.com. Well, thank you again, and good luck to your
Thank you so
travels.
much, Matthew, for this time. I have really enjoyed with you, and just let's keep in touch, and let's see if we can
I'll
talk.
be here.
I will looking forward to talk to you again, and probably next
Wonderful.
time you can introduce me your friend or in your right side.
How do you do
Hi.
it? That's a puppet I used on an infomercial. I'm trying to get some
Yeah,
more mileage out of it. Take
perfect.
care. Thank you.
Let me know if you need anything else, and I'm happy to talk to you whenever you want. All right?
Great. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Javier.
much,
You
Matthew.
bet.
Thank you so much, and see
Bye.
you soon. Bye bye.
Bye. Well, this next interview, you meet some young fellow who figured out what to do with a handful of keys and how to make your life with keys a whole lot simpler. But more importantly, how they thought about this idea that they worked on. It's made out of carbon. It's a wonderful design little product that has a flashlight in it. So when you're looking for that keyhole, it's right there in the key holder. Yeah, that key, and it flips on. You can get the right key with one hand. It has a USB port that you can put in your computer. So anywhere you go on your keychain now, or it's not a keychain, it's a little like a handle. And what to me the best thing is these little junky keys they use now. This is my front door key. It's so small. When I go in there, sometimes it's hard to turn, and you can't get enough power on that key. But now it's a handle. And you get the power, on this. You got a bottle opener on the things, and we've seen that before, but not a USB port and not a handle that makes going into any key. Plus, if you lose it, your iPhone, or actually you could have an Android too. Your smartphone finds your keys. So all this tied up, and it's a wonderful design. They take a look, and they got like $30,000-$40,000 on the internet to make this. They haven't made it yet. They're just showing you a sample. See, that's why you could figure out something like this, a new little product that people had, and work on it to just be designing one, and spend the time and energy to do that. And before you have to manufacture it, see, what you do is you go on the internet, and you get all these people that will kick in money so you can go have it manufactured. So you don't need fat cats, you don't need banks, you don't need all that kind of stuff, to get a business, particularly if a product that was going to help people. I mean, this is what economic development is all about. You're going to invent something or think about something to make my life a little easier. I can't think about everything, right? But you can think about something I'm not thinking about, and then we grow, we get better, more sophisticated, and life becomes easier. And to me, what happens is life becomes more fun because you're doing something, and you're not relying on some big Fortune 500 company to make life better for you. No, you're going out there and making life better for the rest of us. So watch how they did it. Well, Julian Glockner and the inventor, or actually what team of inventors you guys got that invented the Keo, which is going to revolutionize, I think, anybody who has keys like I do, these junky little keys that put holes in your pocket. And my biggest problem with these keys, I put this little key in there, and I try to turn it, and it's hard, and I can't get enough power to turn the lock, and you got the answer to that. Show us that thing that you just got. Yeah.
Well, the Key Carbon, it's a interactive key holder. And it connects to your smartphone, to your iOS or Android.
So it's going to find it from here, huh? No like more lost keys.
Yeah. And if you lose your key, and you can trace back via an app, an application, so you will never have to search for your keys again.
But more important, if I got this, I get a beautiful work of art. I mean, you guys are artists. You're not key finders. Do you have a model there of the product? You have a product you could show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, it's just a beautiful design, and that's carbon, right?
That's carbon, yeah. Made of carbon.
And how does it work? It just pops out, right? It automatically.
It's like here you have a switch up here. And then you can select it, push the button, and it snaps out.
And now you got a whole good handle for that key.
You got a whole hand, so you got a lot of power behind it when you turn the keys.
So you never, that's old guys like, oh God, But I mean, you have a USB thumb drive in there, right? And a bottle opener.
Yeah, sure.
And you say you have an option?
Additional.
And you have an option for a flashlight?
For a flashlight, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So,
that's terrific.
At night when you can't find the keyhole,
right.
But
more importantly, when I feel my pockets, I used to get all the time holes in the bottom of my pockets because of the keys. They eventually rip a hole. Maybe I was wearing my pants too long or something.
Yeah.
So this solves that problem too.
Yeah, right. That's why we put it inside this object, and you get 3 keys right here. where you can put them inside, and it won't ever destroy your pocket again.
And you have a conversation piece too, I think.
A what?
A conversation piece. I mean, people will see that and say,
Yeah.
"Gosh, what is that? Is that?
Right, is that a what kind of thing is this?
Exactly. But it's so gorgeous looking. I mean, on the videos that you have on your fundraising campaign on Kickstarter, I mean, they just look gorgeous. And you have different colors you could get too, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can pick a custom color. Yeah.
I see. So I could get them for different suits. I could match my suits with my...
Everything, the color that fits your style.
Right. But more importantly, you guys are a bunch of designers, engineers, started this company to find products that are good, sensible, make sense for consumers, that look dynamite. And you're using the web to finance all this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we think that that now in the modern time it's better to fund it on Kickstarter because you got a whole community behind it. You know, you got the people who support you and bring forward this idea.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you only been 10 days or 15 days since you started, and not only have you made your quota, but also you have 300 people want this thing already. Yeah.
Yeah. We're pretty surprised and we're pretty happy with it.
And they don't even have it yet, but you got the money, right? So you can go make this thing.
It took a lot of effort.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, to me, it is effort. All of life, the good thing does take effort, but it's not the hurdle of having to have a lot of money, because now the crowd is helping you with that part.
Yeah.
You know, the effort and desire, you have to have that to do anything. But most people get stopped because, hey, I don't have money, so why should I put in the effort? But now this is a way to do it all, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what did you study in Germany that got you into this?
Well, I studied digital media.
Digital media.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do with media and with design, and then it puts us. We founded the new Neuland Innovations, which is our company behind the Kio.
So a bunch of guys. You got engineers, you got designers like yourself, and what other kind of talent involved?
Software developers.
Software. Because you have to. This thing works with your cell phone, right? If you ever lose your keys, you got it right here. Yeah.
Right. We developed an app for smartphones. Yeah.
That's it. So, do you see more products like this to build a bigger, distribution chain?
Sure. I think there are there will be lots of products connected to your smartphone.
Yeah.
I think this is like many future projects will be connected. Yeah. Because the smartphone is such an it's a main well, how do you say, the main object you carry along with you all day.
I mean, right, we're not going to have computers soon. It'll be all here. They'll be big enough to have everything here. Yeah. Remember those big desktops? And if you're my age, I remember the computer was bigger than this room. That I used to program.
Fill a whole room, and now
exactly.
It's just
No, you're right. And people in other countries, this is where they're starting. In underdeveloped countries, so they'll be right there. We'll have everything there. Well, you're just a delight. I'm so glad you're out there, Julian, and doing this stuff to make life easier for us. And so even though you have an accent, we could get this on Kickstarter, right?
We might well, yeah.
But actually, the best place to find you is GetKeo, GetKeeo.com, right?
Yeah,
and that's where you find
the place to be.
Julian and all his buddies who made this neat gadget that's more than a gadget. I mean, it's practical, it's designed well, it's almost like an object of art that you'll have with you to keep things that are important. And then I don't have to struggle my doorknob anyway when it's hard to open, man. And I thank you.
That's good that we simplify your life.
So I thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Julian. Take care. And people, I guess it's best to get the thing now instead of waiting for it, because it's probably more expensive when it gets out in the market. That people are getting a deal if they get it now before the Kickstarter campaign is over. Yeah. So we want to get so that's GetKeo, GetKeeo.com. And at least look at Julian's video. He did wonderful work on that. Thank you, Julian.
Thanks.
Well, I want you to meet this fellow in the next interview. I mean, it's just great. I mean, it shows you what you can do in America. And this young man is just the epitome that anybody can do anything. Man, he graduated from a community college. And then he was messing around with his computers, and he didn't like, actually, the wires, the USB port, into the wires. I mean, he didn't have much technical expertise in this, but he went on the internet and found the answers. I mean, all it cost him was like a few $100s to get the engineering he needed and all that gobbledygook you never would have thought of, to get this thing manufactured. And then plus, he went on the internet then and also got $40,000 to make a big business out of this thing. And I'm sure he's going to be quitting his job soon and working out of his kitchen. But this is what's available. Yeah, and that's in this new economy, man. Everything is available to you right here. You can get the help you need, the expertise, all for next to nothing. It says you don't need a PhD in something to make something. Man, there's help on the internet that you could get, and then there's money on the internet, so you can use these tools to really create things, new ideas that help other people, and then this is how our society grows, how we develop as a culture and everything, and how you get out of that lousy job you have. So watch this. Well, Lesko board. I think you're the only man with snakes in your kitchen. Not your chicken, but your kitchen. You're sitting there in your kitchen, and you invented, the snakeable USB cord that will never break, fray, burn out, do anything, and save us tons of money on getting USB ports. Cords. Why the heck did you do this? What made you think of it?
Well, I was tired of fixing cables myself. It costs money. Everything costs money. And, you get frustrated every time you spend your hard-earned money and on something that breaks. So using my my background in manufacturing, I thought to myself, there had to be a better way to do this. And that's when I came up with the idea for Snakeable.
But what's interesting, we were talking earlier, is that you really didn't know a lot technically to make one of these things, but you were able to find almost all the help you needed for a couple $100 on the internet and get it done, huh?
Yeah, well, it's the 21st century now, Matt, so we can go online, we can talk to anybody we need to. So I've sourced a couple of engineers and had, a couple of them do a couple little things to help me out here with the project to get the ball rolling on everything.
So you went one of these freelancer websites, Elance, I think is the one you used, right?
Yeah.
Found an engineer that helped think through your project and did the design and even the software to have a 3D printer, right?
Correct.
Wow. And you could stay into your kitchen and just think about snakes, right? That's wonderful, huh? And so then, besides the idea and working it out and things like that, and the time involved personally, out of pocket, it really didn't take a whole lot for you, did it?
Well, at this point, I think I probably spent close to about $8,000.
Wow, huh?
Yeah.
What was most of that in?
Most of that was in the marketing and the advertising for the Kickstarter. To get from my frustration of broken cables to the 3D printed prototype probably cost about $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay, and what is mostly tied up in that? Besides, it was a couple $100 for the engineer. Then what's the rest that is expensive for?
Yeah, so we had a couple $100 in engineer consultations. Right. Some 3D renderings I had to get made, and then the 3D printing. 3D printing can be expensive. I already had a printer, so I spent probably about $100 in plastic or so. But then when you go to industrial printing, which was the next logical step to get a closer product, that cost a few $100s. I
see. So then, so the $2,500 or $3,000. That's really in getting the refining. I guess you go through reiterations of printing and figuring out, and it's not the first pancake is good, right? You got
to absolutely. Yeah, it takes a lot. You got to keep on doing it to get it right.
Doing it. So now you're on Kickstarter, and you got over $33,000 from your $3,000 investment. So now you could make these things, and you don't have to bring any more out of pocket, right?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Maybe, if all goes well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so pretty much the projected amount needed to manufacture from tooling, from sampling to tooling and actual production parts was about $28,000 is what I initially calculated. Unfortunately, if you look at most Kickstarter campaigns, what they initially calculate is not always the case.
I see. Well, I think that's true in life with everything.
That's true. That's true. Well, I've been working with the manufacturer for about a month now. A couple weeks before I started Kickstarter, so we're pretty confident we can get everything out on time at budget.
At this point now, for $3,000 on a product, man, you got a product that is comparable to anything I'm going to go Microland or whatever and see. I mean, these high, you're really competing with the big boys and able to do it, for a fraction of that cost. And now, but to me, what's more important, you got 1,200 people who love this thing already.
Oh yeah, yep. That actually is probably a lot more than 1,200. Just a lot of people aren't tech savvy to where they can run on a computer and get on Kickstarter.
You gotta find them yet.
Yeah, the main market I found for the Snakeable would be like professionals. They're always on the go, college students, and everything. For the professional and the college student, it's cost sensitive.
Right.
So you break something, you have to replace it. So I feel a lot of my Kickstarter backers are either traveling professionals or students themselves. But it's a product that can really apply to anybody with a smartphone or tablet.
But more importantly, man, there's a market. I mean, so you're not going to print 15,000 or what these things or whatever it is, make them and have them sitting in your garage for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Right.
I got a lot of books like that, by the way. If you ever want how to get free tax help, I got a garage full of those things. And that's not the case anymore because you're finding money to finance for existing customers that always gave you the money for the product when you're ready. Huh?
Right. Yeah. So now you have those people, those Kickstarter backers. They get the product, they review it, they like it, then they tell their friends. It's like it's a domino effect from there. Likewise, if they get a bad product,
right.
So the difference is someone like you or I who go on to Kickstarter or Indiegogo, crowdfund a project. It's a lot easier to have our reputations mudded than someone like a giant corporation like Apple. Mm-hmm. They make a bad product, which they have. Yeah. Apple has made bad products, believe it or not. But they have the gout to
they can recover easier.
Exactly.
You're a small guy. you don't have another $3,000. You have to come up with another one. So you're betting the farm on this one, and that's why your loss would only be $3,000, but now you're $33,000. Up to produce this, and if you're $28,000, so you have a 10% error fee available. But who knows? And really, you have a couple more weeks on the campaign, so this could be a heck of a lot more yet, right?
Yeah, we have about 10 days left. So the kind of thing that goes on with crowdfunding is the last week is usually when things spike a lot.
I see.
We caught I caught my spike early because I had attended a tech conference in New York for TechCrunch. Oh. So that really helped me expedite the process.
I see. Well, that's great. I mean, because you must feel more comfortable now that you got the money in the bank and you made your quota. And you're going to get this thing is going forward no matter what.
Right.
It is wonderful. And then so you think about you may be able to give up your daytime job someday if this keeps going.
Well, I mean, the job I do now is great. But yeah, it's the American dream to work for yourself. So yeah, I would eventually. I'd like to.
Oh, great. And it'll be you sitting in Philadelphia dreaming about snakes in your kitchen, right? Maybe they'll do a new movie. I see you used a little clip from that. Was that from the in your video?
Oh, yeah.
Was that from Snakes on the Plane?
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you noticed that. I haven't heard much about that.
Oh, that's great.
Hopefully the studio doesn't notice it.
No, shh, don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Now, if they sue you, you'll get $1 million of publicity. For snakes,
Exactly.
snakeable, right? So call them and tell them it's there so they sue you. Okay? You could use the publicity. Well, thank you so much, Wes. Good to have you. Good to know that you're sitting there in Philly dreaming up good stuff for the rest of us. And to get this, to be the first on your block to get the snakeable. And man, this is a neat thing, and you gotta at least see the video on your site, right? Because then you'll see what this is all about. It's snakeable.com. SNAKABLE.com.
Yes.
And don't be throwing away all those cords all the time. Get one forever. It's a snakeable.
There you go.
Thank you, Wes. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Matthew. Take care.
Have you ever had a great idea, but you say, God, how the hell am I going to make that? I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to do all that kind of stuff. Well, you don't have to know that anymore, because the help you need to do, almost make anything, is there, and for next to nothing, right? And you don't have to go to school for years to do it. You go to something called maker spaces. These are all around the country, and they're sort of like clubs. You join for like $100 or whatever, and you get to use all these toys, and they teach you how to use all these toys like 3D printers or routers and all these kinds of things, or engineering stuff that you have to know how to design. I mean, they show you how to do all this stuff, and you don't have to have all that expertise you thought you had to have to do anything in life. And that's why this next interview is a young man, who really had back problems. He was a young jock, and then he started getting aches and pains from sitting down, and he wanted to build a stand-up desk. And he didn't know how to do it, but he said, Johnny, you want to do that? He went to one of these places, and he was working full-time doing another thing, and then start working on his idea. So it cost him nothing to develop that idea, get the expertise he needed to take that idea down the road. And now he's using the internet to raise $30,000, $40,000 to start manufacturing it. Because the internet's giving him customers. So he's got pre-customers that, oh, hey, I want one of those. And they're throwing money at him. So he can make these things because he just has an idea and a prototype, and that's how to get things done nowadays. It's a whole new economy. You don't have to marry a millionaire to get it done. You don't have to, do all this other stuff you used to in the old economy. In the new economy, you go down the street, look on the web, get all this help for free to do something. You use their tools. Actually, the cable companies have the same kind of operation if you want to learn how to video produce, but now with the cameras you don't even need that anymore. But to learn all the skills in making something, and this is how we'll become manufacturing country again. It's learning how to use these tools in the new society. And it's just exciting times out there. All the gatekeepers you thought you had to know or pay for everything, they're not there anymore. They're out of business. And that's why the self-help and do-it-yourself and making your own products and selling them on the internet, that's the new economy. So watch how this young guy did it. Well, Michael Goldberg, man, you're the inventor of the stork stand.
That's right.
I guess
So
like
happy
the
to be
bird,
here.
right? The stork. And
That's
this
right,
is
the
so
stork.
people could stand up at their desk without paying a fortune for one of those stand-up desks, right?
That's
And-
right.
And
That's
you
our
got
goal,
this
to
on
make it
crowdfunding now that's
affordable.
going for almost under $200. You'll never get anything like this again for the rest of your life, it seems. And really, you invented this thing because of your sore back, right?
Exactly. That's definitely right. So our goal is to make it affordable and accessible for people to stand at work wherever they are, whether they work in the office or work at home.
It's convenient. I mean, to me, it's not affordable. You still think, well, I'm going to have this contraption or whatever, but no, it's just like a board that you hook onto the back of your seat, you know, any chair you have in the office, and you can stand behind it and work, and it's just like a desk, huh? Like those $2,000 desks people buy.
Exactly. It's exactly the same as a $2,000 desk, but it's much easier for anyone who just wants to be a little bit healthier. So I came from a background in sports, and I had back problems when I started sitting for long periods of time at work. So it's a neat way if you're just getting introduced to the idea of standing, or you have been thinking about it, you just want to try it for the first time, or you really want it. You're committed to standing for several hours a day, and you know it's going to make you feel better, just like so many of us have learned. It's a neat way to do it. Yeah.
Well, I like it how you have on one of those typical office chairs you put on the back with the rollers, and you could really roll your desk anywhere you want. Well, makerspaces. Well, what's a makerspace? I mean, that's something neat. So this is where you worked on inventing this whole thing and making it yourself when you didn't even know how to do it?
That's right. So maker spaces have really started to pop up all over the country. So this one here in San Francisco is one of the bigger ones, and it's really for anyone who has a hardware product that they want to build. So it's kind of like a co-working space, a place where many different people come to work, but it's specifically for people who want to prototype or build something in real life, who have an idea and they want to bring it from a sketch on a napkin that they thought of while they were sitting in the bar all the way.
Make it. So they have the
Exactly.
tools and the expertise that you could learn how to use those tools and everything?
Right, exactly. So the staff here, they're really knowledgeable, and they have backgrounds in engineering and industrial design. So if you want to come to one of these maker spaces and just take a class, just to figure out if it's something you really enjoy doing, you can take a class on specific tools if you want to learn.
Like a 3D printer or a drill press or all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So a lot of people love to come here and take classes on 3D printing because that's a really neat thing that's happening in the U.S. right now. So, but there are tons of tools. Whether you're looking to make something out of metal, looking to make something out of wood, vacuum forming, anything really.
So you could Google makerspace and probably find one near you somewhere, anywhere in the country, huh?
You can Google makerspace. Yeah, definitely. I mean, search your area. There are large ones in larger cities. There are smaller ones in smaller cities. So it just depends on where you live. But you can definitely, even online, just learn a lot about the process of taking your idea, your passion, from your sketch all the way through to production and to selling to your first customer.
So you were like at a marketing job or something like that, and thinking about this stuff. And then, so you started working on this on the side while you were doing your job, right?
Yeah. So I worked in technology for a number of years before making the transition over to the hardware side. So I was working a full-time job, and I had this dream, I had this idea, and I started prototyping this while I was still holding my full-time job. And that's really what I tell people. It's a good idea to keep your full-time job while you're working on your passion project, your side project.
Unless you have an uncle to give you $500,000.
Oh, that's true. No, if you have an uncle, then you're set anyway. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so I was working full-time while prototyping this product, Stork Stand, out of this makerspace tech shop in San Francisco.
So you come here after work on weekends, and they'd help you make it, build it until you really saw it developing, huh?
Right, exactly. So you can come here late at night or early in the morning, whenever you have time, right? And you're always excited because this is your passion project. So you learn quickly because you want to ask a lot of questions, and that's the way to do it. I mean, you don't want to take too much risk by quitting your job immediately, but as you start to build and you gain momentum and you start to get more feedback from your beta testers and everyone in your community, you'll know when it's the right time to make the transition from...
So this is like having a big company to do this stuff, but you're just doing it part-time, and you got all this big company help to support you to do it, huh?
Right. So, I mean, that's the best thing. The most important thing you want to do when you're just starting out, if you have an idea, get feedback. Yeah. Like, get feedback from as many people as possible, whether it's your family and friends or people, strangers. Ask them to use it and give you honest feedback. As long as they're being honest, that's the most important thing.
So after you perfected it, that's when you think, hey, now I got to get money to get it out there?
Yeah, so that's exact. So we're on Kickstarter right now. So Kickstarter.com, and you can look up.
Actually, go to your website, right? It's probably easier. Storkstand.com. Right.
Even easier, right? Go to storkstand.com, and there's a link right there to to a video and a nice page displaying the product.
Oh, great video! I mean, are you the video maker too?
We worked with a team here in the Bay Area, but yeah, so you kind of do everything when you're bootstrapping it. You're in a small team.
Well, that's the fun part. You get to do
exactly.
everything.
But yeah, so I mean, Kickstarter and these what they call crowdfunding platforms have allowed a lot of small teams to really compete with bigger companies and small individual makers trying to get their idea to market, allow them to not only raise funds but get feedback and just really get validation from their market. So that's
well, you got like $25,000 in a week. You didn't make that your normal job, did you?
No. Yeah, but it's a full-time job. Definitely when you're running a crowdfunding campaign, it's full-time. You're trying to talk to as many people as possible. And it's really important that at the start of it, you're talking to your family and friends. So you want to make sure that you're getting their support and you have them lined up and supporting you even before you launch your campaign.
I see. So you got out of the box. So there's a little... better things to do. You may get lucky, but it's better if you plan ahead on this stuff.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Just like doing the stork stand. I mean, if you just throw up anything, it won't work. But the help you have there, as part of this, and you say just to use all this equipment and everything, it's like $100 or so a month, and that's it, huh?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a gym membership. Yeah. It's a little more expensive.
Yeah.
A little more expensive
for your brain,
exactly,
your pocketbook, instead of your muscles.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So you can come, you can use the facilities whenever you want. Again, it's really important to take classes. Ask people about how they're using these tools. But yeah, essentially you can pay. Every makerspace is different, but you can pay $100 to $150 a month, and you can have access to all these tools that professionals would have access to.
Maybe thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and you only needed a few hours, yeah?
Right, exactly. So it's a neat way to learn. It's a really fun way to learn.
Oh, that's terrific. Michael, it's just a pleasure to meet you, and you're obviously doing good work, and your enthusiasm will share to the rest of us, and that's, I think, the key. I mean, if everyone's as happy doing something every day, then they could share that enthusiasm with the rest of the world and not be miserable like all those people we see on the subway.
Definitely. Yeah. I say if you have a vision, if you have a project that you really want to try it. You don't have to quit your job just yet, but get out there slowly and just make steps to building your dream. So
now in our society, this new economy, it's easy to do with hardly any money.
Yeah, it's true. It's still a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing is. If it wasn't a lot of work, it wouldn't be fun.
Well, you're right.
If it was too easy, then you wouldn't care.
You're right.
That's the good part. People don't realize that. Because you're doing something you love, man. You want to do it harder and better and whatever.
It's not work. When you're doing something you love,
exactly.
It's not work.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Michael. And to actually get that thing now, because if you don't get your stork stand now, it's going to be more expensive when you're out in the market. So it's stork. You say it for me. What is stork?
Stork. It's called Stork Stand. So it's Stork Stand, one word. Right. It's all one word. Go to storkstand.com, and we have lots more information about being healthy as you work a desk job. So just be healthier and more productive at your work.
And actually, just to stretch once in a while. At that price, man,
just move around. Yeah, exactly. That's the important part. Move around. Yeah, get the blood flowing.
Right. Yeah. Thanks you again, Michael.
Thanks so much for having me.
Storkstand.com.
Thanks so much.
All right, take care. Did you know Obamacare could create 11 million new entrepreneurs? Actually, that's what a Harvard Business School study said a few years ago because of job lock. Job lock is when you don't want to move to another job because you worry about losing health insurance. Actually, there's a wonderful story in the New York Times about this woman who was, as a student, was working in Peru, and she was helping young mothers out in the, in the poor areas of the country, get vaccinations for their kids. And she said, hey, we could do a little silicone bracelet for every child so they keep up on this. So when she came back from that study and she finished school, she worked on the bracelet a little bit, but she got a job, a regular job, in an insurance company. And then the Gates Foundation wanted to give her $100,000 to work on a little bracelet. But she didn't mind taking the 60% salary cut, but she said she couldn't do it because of health care. She needed health care, and that kept her from getting that $100,000 to do the bracelet. Now she finally did the bracelet and became like a Woman of the Year, and and all kind of awards for doing this and helping children who normally wouldn't get vaccinations to live longer in life, because now they're able to get them. So that's why something like this health care is stopping that. There are other studies that show that up to 25% of us are in jobs, locked into these jobs, because we're job locked. We're afraid we can't get health care. So we're going to stay in this job that we hate. We're not going to grow. We're not going to create new ideas. We're not going to contribute more to society that we have in us to contribute because of job lock. So no matter what you say bad about Obamacare, and there's a lot of screwed up things that have happened with this thing, but it's better than the alternative, that we had. So that's why now you could do what you really want to do in life, really, because you have a chance to get health care for almost nothing.